Get Rich or Die Trying, an album by 50 Cent, released today as we are releasing this episode, February 6th, 2003, 20 years today. It is 19 songs. It is an hour and 10 minutes. That's just a normal version. Obviously, there's deluxe with remixes. We ain't getting into all of that today. 20 years. 20 years. And that's why we've come to bring this album to the podcast today, to the Two Stubborn Nigerians scale. We thought, with it being 20 years of such a momentous album, an album that's given us both such great joy, provided such great content at different parts of this podcast journey as well, we thought why not celebrate 20 years in existence by just going through this album with a fine-tooth comb, as we like to do here on the Two Stubborn Nigerians podcast. And it was really, for me personally, I don't know about you, it was really exciting and really fun being able to listen to this album again, and also be able to listen to it with a critic's ear, knowing that I was going to come up here and try and find different things to dissect. And obviously we've heard so many things about this album. We both have our own personal opinions about this album, about different songs, but now knowing that I was going to have to find ways to articulate those opinions on a pod, I'm really like it. I really like that opportunity. How did you find, listening to this album with that context, not just because you love the project?
It's funny. I struggled to do so, because this is an album that I've been personally living with for years now, years. And it's hard. I've grown so accustomed to listening to it in one way that I almost can't hear it in any other way. It was tough for me to sit down and say, no, I have to try and catch all the subtle stories that are being told and this and that. It was one of those albums that for me, it's just there for me to enjoy as an album. So it was a different type of challenge than I'm usually used to when it comes to listening to albums for the podcast. But man, any excuse to listen to Get Rich or Die Tryin is something that I'm never complaining at. Never ever complaining at, man. I've had a great week remembering why I love this album so much.
I think the moment those bullet shells drop on that intro,
you
just know, I can only imagine what that would have been like in 2003 when you popped that in the car. Just the moment those bullet shells drop, you just know you're in for something different.
Man, putting the CD in the car, not knowing what is going to play at all.
Spinning the bass all the way up to 100 and just letting that,
Flipping out.
I described it in the intro as an earthquake of an album that created an earthquake of a moment. I mean, the numbers bear that out. And I think, when we look back on our childhood, for example, the amount of times you turn on MTV Base or Kiss TV or Channel U and you're just seeing In the Club, I'm saying still to this day, you go to the club, that's what gets played.
Yep.
When someone's birthday, it's your birthday. You got a party, it's your birthday. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, we know the legacy and the longevity that this album has had. We know what it did for launching the career of 50 Cent, now Curtis Jackson, what I'm saying? Executive producer bag, Kanan, what I'm saying? In case you watched Power. So let's get into it.
Let's get into it, man. I think let's start differently to how we normally start, because it's a different album to some of the ones that we've done in the past, where both of us have a history with this album. What was your first memory of this album before we even get into everything else? What was your journey with this album growing up?
Yeah, well, having older siblings, I think I remember when this came out. I remember that period. I remember hearing it a lot on MTV, on the radio. Seeing the videos, obviously. I remember the whole video rollouts. I remember when In the Club came out. I remember when the PIMP video came out. I remember when the remix of PIMP came out. I remember when 21 Questions video came out. And I remember all of that. So I remember Wankster. Vividly. Do you know what I'm saying? So I remember all of that from childhood. And and I'll get to this. I was going to get to this later, but I remember at that time seeing 50 Cent everywhere and being cognizant of the fact, clearly this is, he must just be the greatest of all time. because like you can't plaster this guy everywhere. You know what I mean? To my like 6-year-old brain or whatever, you're plastering this guy everywhere. I'm seeing all of his songs go huge. Everyone loves every single one of his songs. I mean, I'm a kid. I don't know what he's saying, but they're catchy. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, In the Club is catchy. 21 Questions is catchy. Like, so at bare minimum, I'm enjoying them. And it's like, oh yeah, this. I'm sure it's impossible for anyone to get better than this. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like he was projected in that light. He was shone in that light. So I remember that vividly. Then obviously, as I've grown older, I've done my own deep dives and my own explorations into the themes, into the history, into the background. It's like, oh, getting the context more. I'm like, oh shit. It just provides a deeper level. But yeah, that was me. How about yourself?
I think similar. I grew up with, obviously, a lot of it was playing on MTV Base all the time. I'll get into the car, there'll be different songs playing in the car. I'll be singing in the club. I'll be singing PIMP without knowing what a PIMP was. I just knew that, hey, I know the letter P, I know I know M, I know
I can
P.
spell. Yes,
I was just enjoying the music, man. I didn't know what I was singing or what I was rapping along to. It was relatively not too long ago, actually, where I actually sat down and said, I know a lot of songs off of this album, but I don't think I've ever really listened to this album. I want to say like 2017, 2018. Whereas I've never actually listened to the whole Get Rich or Die Tryin. I just know like everyone regards it highly. And that is one of those albums where 50 made his mark, but I've never listened to it. So I sat down and listened to it and thought, wow, okay. Like all of a sudden it made sense. It's like the first time listening to College Dropout, where it's like, oh, it makes sense. It makes sense. Like, oh, this is why he like came out onto the scene and everyone was like, oh yeah, no, don't mess with this guy. Like he is one of them. Everything just made sense. And ever since that day of listening to that album, Get Rich or Die Tryin has been one of my personal favorite hip hop albums. One of them anyway. I won't say my favorite, but is up there when I think of albums that break everything.
Yeah. I feel you. So let's dive into it, man. When we talk about themes, thoughts, what do you think 50 was trying to convey on Get Rich or Die Tryin?
What do I think 50 was trying to convey, man? I think it was really trying to get into introspective bag. 50 came onto this album saying, hey, for those of you who don't know, I'm about that life. And if you don't know that I'm about that life, listen to song 1 to 19. Hey, I have a bonus track where I'm going to give it to you, song 20, and it's going to tell you even more about the fact that I'm about that life. It's just that. It's gangster rap, you know. It's one of those where, even though we rarely use that phrase anymore, but it's as gangster rap as you can get, I guess. It's a whole album. He's just talking. Is making it clear that there's a certain lifestyle that he's living. You either love it or you hate it. Like there's no in between. That what are we doing here? Like he says at one point, yo, I'm not the role model for your children. I'm gonna teach them how to load up the hollows. It's like, yo, like we know what we're here for. The album cover is a glass with a bullet hole in there. Like we know what we're here for. Like, yeah, it's a gangster rap album. It's a gangster rap album delivered excellently.
I think it's summed up by the title, bro. Like he's here to get rich or he will die trying. And I think, and this is what I mean with 50 Cent. And I say this about 50 Cent still today with some of the antics he does on social media. I'm like, my brother in Christ, when you have been shot 9 times and you live, you don't fear death, bro. Like there's nothing this earth has for you that you're scared of. Do you know what I mean? And so for him, he gets that, like, that is so clear on this project. Like, yo, this rap game shit, it's nothing to me. Like when he comes in there and he's like, I can go up against, if David can go against Goliath with a stone, I'm big enough to go against Hove and Nas both for the throne.
Man.
It's like, bro, this rap game, I've been shot at 9 times and I'm still here.
Man.
Like one of my favorite bars on the album. Now it's clear that I'm here for a real reason. Because he got hit
like I got hit.
But he ain't fucking breathing.
My God, many
Like he's telling you, like, yo, like I am here for one purpose. I'm here to get my money.
Yep.
Or I'm going to die trying because I don't fear the death. I'm going to do whatever I need to do to put that paper in my pocket because I've been about that life and I'm not scared to go back into that life.
Yep.
If it means I'm going to get my money. You know what I'm saying? So it's so, and obviously you don't know that as a kid. You know what I'm saying? At 6 years old, I didn't know this nigga got shot 9 times. You know, so I didn't know he was the boogeyman. He just kept coming back. I didn't know that. But knowing that way I know that, and then listening to the songs on this album, and that's what adds brevity to it. There's no, it's just like JT prior to that Uzi video. There's no cap in her raps.
Massive proud to the Uzi video. Yo, it's crazy because like listening to this album now, there's a lot of stories that you hear, and this album makes you believe those stories.
Every single bit.
And it's not even necessarily just the 50 got shot 9 times, or 50 got into the shootout, or 50 was really terrorizing the streets. I believe all of those stories after listening to this album. But I also believe the stories where it was saying Jay-Z came into the studio and told everyone, you niggas gotta get ready because there's a nigga named 50 and it's coming with the heat. And it's like, that's a fucking fact. There's no other way for you to approach knowing that 50 is coming. There's no other way to approach it.
I remember my brother sent me a video, like we were like, it was like December 2021 when we were in LA, and it was a video of Joe Budden podcast, and they were talking about, and Joe Budden was talking about like, I'm still here. You know what I mean? Like these kids these days, they don't know about the pressure of what it means for me to still be like here and prominent in the game. Because like, let me show y'all what I had to deal with. And he played the Wankster beat. Just a beat. And he was like, yo, I had to go outside and rap versus this. And I'm still, y'all niggas want to talk about pressure, bro. I'm still here. Like anyone who has still survived from that time, do you know what this did in the streets?
Man,
I'm still here. And that was the point that Joe is making. And it's the exact, bro, it's exact, like 50 said, like, yo, Jay had to go into, those niggas had to go in those studios, you know, yo, I'm coming.
Yep.
I'm coming. And this was his album to let them know I'm here. You got to understand the bubble that was coming with 50 through the mixtapes too, that got them to this point. You know what I'm saying? So everyone already knew through the tapes, oh shit, this guy might be onto something. And then the project drops, gets the Interscope interjecting in the back with M and Dre, giving them the cosign.
Yep.
And it was bombs away.
Different.
It was bombs away. Let's talk about the lyricism.
You gave me a challenge before we even started. You said, find the most evil bar.
Yep.
What's the bar that you found that you thought, wow, this just came out of a person's mouth, a human being, and not the devil himself?
You want me to give mine?
Yeah, give it, man.
Mine is on the track Heat.
And
it's not what you think. Because obviously Heat, the hook of Heat is scary enough.
Yeah, it is.
Because he says very clearly, I do what I gotta do. I don't care if I can get caught. The DA can play this motherfucking tape in court.
I'll kill you.
I ain't playing.
Hear what I'm saying?
I ain't playing. That I ain't playing is okay. It's not even that gets me. The one that gets me every time is, and it's not bar, it's a scheme. So forgive me, but look, nigga, don't think you safe because you moved out the hood. Because your mama's still around, dog. And if you were smart, you'd be shook at me. Because I'll get tired of looking for you. Spray your mama crib and get your ass to come look for me. Yo!
That's so funny. We've come up with the exact same.
You have to. It's disgusting.
It's so scary. He said, yo, I'm tired of this, man.
I'm tired of looking for you, bro. Spray up mama crib. Now come look for me.
Oh my God. I said, that ain't no good. Like, damn, your mom's still here? Oh, shucks.
It's crazy, man.
Man, that's fam. There were so many bars from this song that you could. This whole song, by the way, it's just on crazy.
Verse 2, when he starts off saying, "My heart bleeds for you, nigga. I can't wait to get to you." Behind that twinkle in your eyes, I can see
the bitch in you. Fam. Oh my god.
Man said there'll be no white flags and no peace talks. Coming off Little Dirk saying they fucked the ops out so bad they had to require a sit down. I love this song.
Man, this song is crazy. And it's for him to do it on one of the hardest beats.
It's ridiculous.
It's nuts. It's nuts. Fam, like the lyricism throughout this entire album, because I don't want to just get caught on heat. Throughout this entire album, it's crazy. Because like, again, I've said it a few times now. He doesn't come on with intricate schemes where he's like, you have to really listen to catch what he's saying. No, he's gonna say what he has to say straight up. There's no like missing what he's saying, but there's so much poignancy in what he's saying at the same time.
It's just the pure like raw authenticity of what he's saying. Like you believe every single bar. Like one is his like actual delivery.
Mm-hmm.
Two is obviously knowing the person and the story behind it. So, you know, like he has no reason to cap on what he's saying. And then again, it's just like what the overt nature and shit that he is describing. It's like when we talked about when we were doing fucking Shea Serrano's book, and it came up and we were talking about, yo, like, and he said, like, is that S on my chest?
No.
I walk around like I got S on my chest. No, it's a semi-automatic in my pocket and a vest on my chest. Because I know what I can do with the weapon. It's that authenticity. It's so like jaw-dropping. It's jaw-dropping.
Exactly that. Fam, like when he says, yo, if you have a glass jaw, you should watch your mouth because I'll break your face. I believe him. I believe him. There's no doubt. I'm like, oh, okay. Be careful what you say around 50.
Yeah.
Please. And I think there's something about that that's just like, you don't get that all the time, you know? It's not always, like there's a lot of rappers who will come out and they'll say they live a life. And I don't doubt that they do live that life. But it doesn't feel the same as when 50's coming out here and saying, this is how I'm living. Take it or leave it.
Yeah.
There's no other, just take it or leave it.
Yeah. It's different. And again, I mean, you touched on it, so we'll, you know, slide over there perfectly. The production that aligns with this, the beats, the fact that the beats match that raw, that punch you in the face energy that the bars have, it provides a perfect like marriage between the two. I think, you know, we have when when it was revealed that 50 was going to be, you know, at Wireless last year, for example, and he was going on tour, and a video went around and niggas like, let me practice my 50 darts, and it was just a boom, boom. But the fact that you can do that to every single song on this album, in time, tells you that there was such a cohesion to those beats and the sound that they were looking to create, which is beautiful. But at the same time, it never feels mundane. Like I always feel like there's something new in each beat. So like the beat to Many Men, for example, I love it, but it still does feel different to the beat to Patiently Waiting, which feels different to the beat to Heat, which feels different to the beat to Don't Push Me. Like it's, and then obviously you get In the Club and 21 Questions, PIMP, which is completely different vibes and sounds because they're the singles, but still all fits perfectly to create this marriage between 50's authentic delivery and then the beats supplementing that as well, I think.
It's the benefit of having Dre in the room.
Dre in his prime.
Bam. Like you're getting the cinematic nature of Dre's production.
Dre and Eminem in that.
And yeah, bro, the cinematic nature of all the production throughout this album, it cannot be stated enough. It cannot be like there's a level of cinematography that you can see. Like they are painting images with the production alone. And some of the things that they do on this album is so creative. I think one of the reasons why I think He is one of my favorite songs off of this album, the ability to say, let's cock a gun and let's make a beat from that.
Yeah.
And for it to be so hard, like who thinks of that? And of course it fits, because look at the manner and the tone and the topics discussed on the song Heat. It can't be anything else. You can't discuss anything else on this, and it fits. Every beat fits what is going for. There's no There's no skips on this album for me. I think everything is sequenced perfectly.
Perfect sequencing.
Like I can't imagine how else you sequence this.
Perfect sequencing, perfect placement of the hits in the club, PIMP, 21 Questions, to break up the rest of the album and the content behind the rest of the album. Brilliant sequencing. Brilliant sequencing.
It's crazy. I think this album is a bunch of excellent songs sequence put together in a project perfectly. And again, it's a benefit of having geniuses in the room. Geniuses in the room. There's when you see that Aftermath and Shady Records were both on this. Yeah, fair. Crazy.
Well, you mentioned them, so let's go on to the songs. Give me your top three.
Top three songs of this album.
Yeah.
It's a tough one between 1 and 2. Number 3, I would personally go with. And I knew I was going to get to this point and it would switch for me. I knew this was going to happen. Because it feels disrespectful to put this song at 3, Paul. I may never forgive myself because once I say it, I can't take it back. But I think Many Men is at number 3 for me.
Okay.
One of my favorite all-time songs. One of the greatest songs ever made. Many Men Wish Death Upon Me. Blood in My Eyes. Oh, it is one of those songs that when it comes on is a spiritual feeling that comes over you. You suddenly feel like the ops are trying to kill you. The ops are outside the door and there's real pressure on me to make it out of the situation alive. That's what Many Men creates in terms of environment around me when that song plays. It is an excellent song. That being said, He is one of my favorite songs on this album. It's really tough for me to put many songs above Heat because it's just a great song in terms of production. You have, as I just said, the gun cocking and shooting. You have 50 just, hey, I'll kill you. I ain't playing. Get what I'm saying, homie? I ain't playing. If you get
slipping, I'm gonna kill you.
Bro, the DA can play this motherfucking tape in court. There's something about the poignancy of it. Like, man, it just creates that feeling again of I'm living a life. It makes me feel like I'm living a life that I've never even come close to living. I have no desire to want to live, but I feel like I'm in it when I listen to that song, and it thrusts me into that life. My favorite song has always been my favorite song off this album. Is the highlight of this album for me every single time. Life's on the Line is just it's perfection in the song. Like even the way it opens, Nobody Likes Me, but that's okay because everything about it. I let my watch talk for me, my whip talk for me, my gat talk for me. Bow, what up, homie? These niggas want to know. Yeah, nah, that's it. That's it. You got me. That song is one of those songs that gets wheeled up every single time because it's hard in every single sense of the fam. The beat goes crazy. The lyrics are crazy. Everything about it is crazy. It's my favorite song off the album, man. There's nothing. It's number 1. It's saying something. When Many Men is number 3, Many Men is most other people's number 1 all time. So for Many Men to be number 3, man, you already know what this album's about.
I feel you. I'm gonna disagree with you though, because at 3 I got Heat. No, I'm lying. Sorry. At 3 I got Patiently Waiting. I love that. Eminem was in his production bag throughout most of this album, and that is one of them. And I just love it, and especially just because it's just that gravity. This is the one. I've been patiently waiting for a track to explode on, and he just goes. At 2 I got Heat. So we got Heat in the same place. But at 1 I got Many Men. At 1 I got Many Men. I've said it before on this podcast and I'll say it again. It's hip hop gospel. It's Pantheon great. It's Mount Rushmore. Like it doesn't make sense how special that song is. From the intro at the beginning, the little skit, a pull off, the beat sounding like the gunshots, and then it drops, and then it's just Many Men Wish Death Upon Me, blood in my eyes, though I can't see. I'm trying to be what I'm destined to be, and niggas trying to take
my life away.
But then the spirit of resistance.
Oh my God.
That is the essence of Black History Month.
Yo, no, I walk through the valley of the shadow,
bro. Yeah. I will put a hole in a nigga for fucking with me. My back on the wall. Oh, now you go see. You better watch how you talk when you talk about me. Because I'll come and take your life away.
Many men.
Oh my goodness, perfection. Absolute perfection. And like we said, that bar to close out this, like, now it's clear that I'm here for a real reason. Because he got hit. Like I got hit. But yeah, fucking breathing.
Man, there's no difference in what we went through, but I survived it.
And it's clear that I'm here for a real reason. Man, this is why I got a higher purpose. I got a higher play. It's beautiful, man. I really can't get past that. So yeah, I got Many Men at 1, Heat at 2, and Patiently Waiting at 3.
Fair. I can't fault you, man. Patiently Waiting is one of my favorite songs off this album as well, man. Especially that you mix some big and some punky. It's fun. I love it.
It's brilliant.
Man. Should we take it to the scales?
Let's take it to the scales, good sir.
Okay. The Two Stubborn Nigerian album rankings go as such. I hate I ever listened to this. Won't be listened to again. Whole lot of mid. Might stay in rotation for about a week. Pretty damn good. Serious project. And then either me and or Paul can give it our 50% stamp of approval. In the case that we both give it our 50% stamp of approval, the album becomes 100% Two Stubborn Nigerian approved. Where are you going with this one, Paul?
It's a classic, bro. It's stamped. It's been stamped for 20 years. It didn't really need me to come up here and say that it's stamped, bro. This is one of the most important projects in music history, let alone in hip-hop history. It was fun for me to listen to it once again in this week with a critic's mindset and a critic's eye. And yeah, it's stamped. It has my stamp. It's had my stamp since 2003.
I'm gonna go with Pretty Damn Good. It's a solid pro now. I'm playing, obviously. It's stamped. Obviously, it's stamped. There's no way you say it's not stamped. It is one of the greatest hip hop albums of all time. There's a reason why the greats love it. There's a reason why everyone new who listens to it loves it. It is one of the best albums created in the genre of hip hop ever. And is what put 50 on the map.
Power to the people who are about to do maintenance. Thank you so much for watching that video. If you were feeling it, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Peace.